Sorry about that. What happened was that I started filming and I kept talking, and then what happened is that I dissociated and I didn't realise that the camera died. It was kind of my fault 'cause the battery, I fell out with it, so. Yeah, it was my fault 'cause I didn't charge the camera battery last night. And as I was charging the camera battery this afternoon, I was just sitting here watching YouTube and reading and such. And then I was supposed to do it as Mum went out to work this evening, and then Mum was like, "Can you come out to work?" And I said, "Yeah," and I kind of went over, and I didn't stay for long. I just had a really bad cycle. Sorry, a bit of a trigger warning. Just to talk about mental health for a little bit. Just had a little bit of a really bad cycle of dissociation and depression, and I don't know. It's all just happened really quickly. I just feel really suicidal again. I've been scratching in a self-harming type way. Yeah. So that's happened. But yeah, to sum up years and years, I was saying that the reason why I use the word queer is because, like, instead of using LGBT, is because the actual queer community isn't just the identity, it's the people, it's the history, it's the community, it's our places and safe spaces and what we have to offer and how we live and what we provide, and everything that we go through. That's our community, that's our life, that's what being queer is all about. However, if I was to meet someone, or if a friend told me, can you not please use the word queer because that word makes me feel uncomfortable. I used to get bullied with that word quite a lot. It's quite traumatic for me. I still have trauma with it. Then I'd say, yeah, fine. I would say the gay community, the LGBT community, the trans community, so on and so forth. I wouldn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable for that reason. So, yeah, if I was to know you personally and you said, "Oh, can you not say this word or that word?" then yeah, I'd go for it. I'm not just going to be like, "No, this is what I use and no one else can change my mind." But yeah, years and years, it's really good, really well done. However, a little bit of an accessible thing for the IMAX is that there is just stairs constantly. There is a lift, but it takes you all the way up to the top of the stairs, and there's no lift to, as far as I know, there's no lift to the level where there's a bottom for the front row of the stairs. So if you're disabled, like if you really cannot use stairs whatsoever, if you're a wheelchair bound disabled person or what have you, then you have to sit right at the top, which is not fair or equal for anyone. Like, if you're going to an event where it's really special for you, like you're going to see one of your favourite people, or you're seeing a premiere that you've been wanting to see for ages, you are sitting right at the back, my friend. I don't know if there's another stop halfway down or at the bottom, but you'd have to call and ask them. From what I saw, there wasn't another floor with the lift. It was just one way up and one way down. That was it. And if there was ever a fire, God help you. Like, there's no ramp. Well, as far as I saw, there was no ramps or slopes or anything. It's just fab. But downstairs is quite accessible. It was a little bit difficult to find, but once you know how to get there, you found it. You know, it's not too difficult because there's a lot of tunnels which are really nice and accessible, not too steep either. So yeah, that was years and years. And then there was the Inside No.9 BFI Q&A. So what we saw Deadline again, and we saw Deadline again, and we saw it with some extra audio. What I mean is like some gallery audio, i.e. cue camera 4, have I can't think of it. Graphics, that's the one. Have graphics on hold, and cue graphics and that kind of thing. It was really nice to hear, like on top, even though they were re-recorded. So even though that was all re-recorded, it was still kind of nice to hear the inside job of it all, I suppose. Reese and Steve did really well. You know, that they had their spirits up, I suppose. They weren't miserable, you know. The questions were quite bland. Like, it was probably one of the worst events I've been to at the BFI. Probably one of the worst league events I've been to completely. It was quite bland and quite boring, and just a lot of the audience questions were quite wasted. One of my friends, you know, it was also quite biased with the audience questions. I'm not going to say why, but yeah, one of my friends got to ask a question, which I was really happy about for her. So that was nice. It was just nice that I actually heard one of my friends get answered, so that was nice. It was really worth the money. You know, watching Deadline on its own, like if you're here at home or what have you, it's quite nice. But when you're there watching one of your favourite things with all of your friends in this giant room, you know, that was really nice. The atmosphere was brilliant. Everyone was laughing throughout the entire thing, just to hear. And you know what? Reese brought along the fake head. So with the exception of rewatching Deadline, there wasn't anything else that was new, like, that was kind of worth the money. But however, my entire ticket money was worth it when Reese brought out his fake head and said, "Jesus, boy, Jesus," you know, on stage. You know, that itself was worth the money. Just hearing Reese go, "Jesus, Bobby," in real life. You know, there's one thing watching it on TV, and then there's another thing watching it like in real life. That was pretty impressive. So overall, it was an okay event. You know, would I go back? I would purely just go back to another No.9 event if it was a preview, B, a signing, and C, for my friends. I love meeting up my friends, they're great. You know, that kind of makes the evening worthwhile, because I do get to see a good 90% of all my friends at these events, which is really, really lovely. Would I watch more than 2 or 3 events in one evening? No. Not that I didn't enjoy all 3 events, but Jesus, Bobby, it's tired. It's tired, it's tiring. Because Ghosts finished at 6 p.m. Then Ghosts started at 6 p.m. and finished at 7, whilst Years and Years started at 7 on the dot and then finished at it actually advertised online for 8:30. So I thought, okay, 8:30's great. Could get downstairs, have a chill for half an hour or so. No, it finished at 9:15. 9:15. And like, okay, 50 minutes, that's not too bad. But by the time you got downstairs and had a wee, but both me and Mum, because of the queues, it was horrendous. And then walked all the way back up to the BFI. I know BFI is only a 5-minute, well, it says on Google Maps 1 to 2 minutes, but Google Maps lies. Google Maps lies to hell. Even BFI said, oh, it's only a 1-minute walk. No, it isn't. It's a 5-minute walk, especially if you're tired and disabled, you know, and if you're a slow walker like myself and my mum. So, It took us 5 extra minutes, so by the time we got there we were a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. But again, I mean, it was doable, but it's just tiring and it's kind of stressful. So if it weren't for after the, you know, if it weren't for the fact that BFI doesn't stay open till afterwards, after the show, I wouldn't have seen my friends at all, and I wouldn't have had any time to rest or anything. So, and because of how, you know, much time we didn't have, I couldn't go up in the lifts. I had to go up and downstairs, like, constantly. Which is okay, I can do it, it's manageable, there aren't a lot of stairs, luckily. However, yeah, after a full day, you get tired and you get a lot of pain. And that isn't BFI's fault. There isn't a lot of time between the events. That's more for Radio Times, because it was the Radio Times TV festival, and considering it's only their second ever festival, I don't think they've done too bad, you know. The thing is, it takes a long time to get these things right, and in all fairness, I don't think they would expect someone to do 3 events in a row, because not everyone has the money, and again, we don't have the money, but because carers get it for free, it makes everything a lot cheaper. So yeah, I think what they need to work out is that if they're going to do several events in one day, make sure there's at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes between. I know there was 15 minutes between Years and Years and Inside No.9. However, yeah, you've got to leave more time because the building's further away. So it's just a bit like... Also, to me, Years and Years was such a big event. I don't know what was going on before Inside No.9, but that Years and Years was such a big event, so important. It should have been in the NFT1 room. It should have been. So yeah, that's my only criticism for that. So yeah, that was Saturday. Now we'll stop here.